and they call it hallucinations. No, you just gave it poor guidance. And if someone on your team does something that wasn't, as an employer or as a supervisor, and when someone messes up in your team, you gotta think about like, oh, maybe I didn't train them properly. Maybe I didn't give them clear instructions. There's a bit of shared accountability of like, maybe I didn't coach you right to do that job well. So we gotta think about AI the same way. So at the onset, you wanna give it your goal. Your job is to do X. This is what I want from you. First step, right? A little tip that some of us, old school prompt engineers do is we separate each step of the instructions with whether it's a couple hashtags or dashes. I put 3 hashtags. All right, first set of instructions, 3 hashtags, next set of instructions. This is what I want from you. This is the role I want you to play. This is what good looks like. This is what exactly the output is that I want back from you. Here are some examples. I give you this, you give me this back. I give it 3 or 4 of examples of like, this is the sequence, and this is how I want you to think about how to generate this answer. Here are the 5 things I want you to consider before you return an answer, right? So you wanna make sure that you lay out a clear plan, no different than how you would onboard a new employee at your company of like, when you deal with a customer, I want you to follow these 10 steps.
Yeah.
GPT, if you're dealing with a customer on my behalf, you need to follow the same steps that a new employee would follow. Then beyond all that, you say, okay, these are the things I don't want you to do. If someone asks you this, don't say this in return. Don't make generalizations about these populations. Don't assume this. Don't give this person information that's not related to them. If they try and change the topic, don't change the topic. I only want you to do this one thing for me and for other people.
If we're setting this up in one of our threads, we do all that right at the top the first time. Can we just keep using the thread in with our one prompt then for a long time? Or do
there's shared memory now in your session where it's learning across all, if you change that in the settings, it's learning across all of your sessions.
Yeah.
So if you have that in there once, it'll know, okay, follow these instructions moving forward for everything. And then, okay, that's the instructions, that's the system instructions. But then it also lets you upload documentation. All right, what information do you need to upload to make sure that it has the information it needs to make the right decisions or give you the right output?
Yep.
Very few, people make that effort. They ask you one thing and like, I don't like this answer, this is dumb. We're like, well, how much information did you give it?
Yeah.
And they call it hallucinations. No, you just gave it poor guidance. And if someone on your team does something that wasn't, as an employer or as a supervisor, and when someone messes up in your team, you gotta think about like, oh, maybe I didn't train them properly. Maybe I didn't give them clear instructions. There's a bit of shared accountability of like, maybe I didn't coach you right to do that job well. So we gotta think about AI the same way.
Yeah. Now, I think for those of us that are like, okay, Abran, that part I already knew, I need to do more of it. Maybe I'm not doing it well enough, but they knew that. Now let's talk a little bit about agentic AI, because